Hello and welcome back to another video. In this problem, we're asked to evaluate the limit if it exists. We have the limit as x approaches 4 of x squared plus 3x over x squared minus x minus 12. So the first thing we want to do when we have a rational function is to try and simplify this. Because if we plug in 4 directly here, we're going to have 0 in the denominator, and that's just not something you can't divide just by 0. So let's try and simplify this. So we can factor out an x up here, which leaves us with x times x plus 3. And here we have a trinomial, so we factor it like this, where we have two numbers that multiply to negative 12 and add to negative 1, that's negative 4 and positive 3. And you can see that this is equal to x over x minus 4. This is with the caveat that x cannot equal negative 3 because of the domain restriction we had. But that doesn't really matter because we're looking at numbers approaching 4. So we can just say that we're analyzing the limit as x approaches 4 of x over x minus 4. However, this still doesn't really help us because if we plug in 4, we're still going to have 0 in the denominator. So what we have to do is we have to take the limit from the left and from the right and see if they match. So from the left, in the numerator, we can just plug in 4 directly. In the denominator, the reason we can't do that is because we would have 4 minus 4, and that's equal to 0. So let's say we're taking numbers that are approaching 4 from the left, and we're subtracting 4. What does that mean? This means we have a number that's slightly less than 4, and we're subtracting 4. So this is like 3.99999 and so on minus 4, which means you're going to have a number that's slightly less than 0. It matters that it's slightly less than 0 versus slightly greater than 0, because this is a positive number divided by a negative number, which means it's negative. And since it's a constant divided by the numbers approaching 0, we can say that it has a magnitude of infinity. Meanwhile, here, if we're plugging in 4 from the right, minus 4, this is a number that's very slightly larger than 4 and approaching 4. So this is 4.00000001, so on, minus 4. Therefore, we're approaching 0 from the right, from the positive values. Positive divided by positive means this is positive infinity. Since the limit from the left and the right do not match, therefore we can say the limit dne does not exist.